Happy Monday, guys. Today's home workout is for time, 100 double unders, 40 alternating dumbbell snatch, 80, 30, 60, 20. This workout here is meant to be done at a high intensity. So I want you to pick a pace where you're just working underneath your threshold, whatever that may be. I want you to just work underneath that for as long as you can, and maybe around the 60s and the 20s is where you kind of give your 100% or your 110%. So you're kind of working at a 90% capacity for the majority of the workout, and then at the end you're kind of giving it your all to finish it off. This workout, I would say, you should be able to finish underneath 12-minute mark. That's also the same time limit I gave for the class for this workout. I would also use that as your time limit for this workout. If you happen to go past it just a little bit, obviously don't cap yourself, but you should be able to see where you're at, maybe around the 80 double under and the 30 dumbbell snatch point. You should be about halfway or even over, just at halfway with the time limit. For the movements here, the dumbbell snatches, choose a weight where you can do the sets or the amount of reps, so the 40s in no more than 2 sets. So you can do it in 20 and 20, or you go 30 and 10, or if you feel good and you can hang on, go for all 40 all at once, as long as that's not deterring from your intensity through the rest of the workout there. Same thing with the double unders, 15-50, 60-40, when you go to the 80s, breaking up into 40s, or going into a 60-20. Find that rep scheme that works for you, but try to stay within 2 sets to finish each one. I wouldn't go more than that. If you have to do that, then I want you to bring your progression down a little bit so you can keep your intensity high and get the intent out of this workout. After the workout, guys, we have our afterburner, which is just a cool down where we're going for a pec stretch and a lat stretch. So again, find some different angles, play around with them when you're doing these stretches if you've done them in the past. If not, you'll see more details on how to do them. And again, it's really important, you want to try to open up that chest, that lat, for especially overhead movements, and also surprisingly for your breathing. So it'll allow you to kind of open up that chest when you're breathing throughout your workouts, and after workouts for tomorrow. That'll really keep you in the game to keep on going. Hope you guys enjoy the workout and the afterburner. We'll see you guys next for the warm-up.
Okay, let's get ready to warm up here. Today's warm-up is an AMRAP 6. So we're moving for 6 minutes. Okay, so it's not about doing 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. You move at the pace that you consider is a warm-up, that gets your heart rate going elevated, that gets the muscles fired up in the movements that we're trying to get your hamstrings, your glutes, and your upper back muscles like your lats, your rhomboids. Focus on the area versus focusing on the speed or the rounds that you're doing today. Okay, get warmed up. So first movement, going for 30 double unders, 60 singles. So if you don't have a skipping rope, go into those hops. So hop, single tap, or maybe it's a double tap. So hop, double tap, hop, double tap. Repeating that, guys. For the 30, for double unders would be the 30 hops with a double tap. Okay, so that would be equivalent. When you're done that, from there you're going 5 per side of your single arm row. So find an object, could be a band, could be a weight, kettlebell here in this case, guys. You're gonna lean forward. If you find it a little bit awkward, you don't have another object on the other hand, feel free to follow along. If your stance is a little bit off, feel free to go into that split lunge. Okay, whatever feels comfortable. But the intention here is, again, squeeze your shoulder blades together, pull your shoulder blade back, start pulling that object by pushing and flexing your elbow, so pushing your elbow to the ceiling without shrugging forward. Okay, so shoulder blade back, flex your elbow, squeeze your armpit, right between your arm and your rib, guys. Keep that muscle nice and active. Extend that arm, retract, row, and going for 5 before you switch sides. After that, then you're going for 5 as well on both sides. your Bulgarian squat. To find an object that you can step back onto that is elevated. I'm choosing a smaller object because I know some of you guys may not have a taller object, but if possible, maybe it's a couch, maybe it's a chair. Picking a higher object to allow you to get into your hip flexion a little bit better. Slower object, you just need to get longer. Okay? From there, you're gonna go down. Think about knee go straight to the floor. Okay? Squeeze your butt to get that quad stretched out. Then drive through your heel to activate your hamstrings. At all times, you guys think about keeping your glutes nice and active so your pelvis is in a neutral position versus in this tilted position. So glute tight, core tight, as you're doing your Bulgarian squat, going for, again, 5 on both sides where you're trying to really fire up hamstrings and your glutes while keeping that core and hips in control, okay? And go for 6 minutes, get warmed up, hopefully that gets the heart rate going for you. Starting with the alternating snatch. I got a dumbbell here, guys. So, depending what you have at home, your starting position might be slightly different, okay? So, what I'm getting at is if I have a smaller object, I might have to squat down to reach it versus leaning forward and rounding my back. That is usually your go-to, more natural, kind of lean forward, reach for it. But then that changes your spine position, does not keep it in neutral position. So try to get in the habit of hinging with the hips, okay, squatting down if your object is a little bit smaller, okay? To avoid using your back or compromising your back position, use those legs. Just like any lift here that we would use with a barbell, you would deadlift it from the floor. From there, you guys are gonna drive your hips, heels into the floor. As you drive your elbow slightly back, then quickly turn it around and punch it to the ceiling, okay? Avoid that two-step because it's not a clean and press, it's a snatch, okay? So one fluid, continuous movement all the way overhead, okay?
For those double unders, if you have them, let's work on those double unders today. If you're at that 30 range, for example, see if you can break them up into sets of 20, or if you want to try it, seeing if you can do bigger sets today. This is the great day to try and start, or a great workout to start doing that. If you don't have double unders, let's go single skips, or we can go for some running skips here, guys. Also, you can use that previous option from before, which is the double tap hop. So you're gonna keep the feet together, you're gonna jump up, double tap your sides for 60 reps total.
Alright guys, welcome to the Afterburn. Hope you had a good workout. We're going to start with that pec stretch. So we are doing 90 seconds per side. First one we're going to do is I'm just going to get you planting your hand onto that wall. So I'm actually pushing my palm into the wall and then locking my elbow out. And then I'm just going to turn my feet in the opposite direction. So I'm just trying to walk my feet away more and more. Upper body comes with it. Now you can play with your position here on the wall a little bit higher. You might feel a little bit more in the pec. Remember, you might be tempted to bend your elbow. Try to avoid that. 90 seconds per side on that. Then we're going to get into a lat stretch. So for the lat stretch here, guys, if you have a tennis ball, lacrosse ball, any type of ball will work here. I want you guys to think about working that lat right where the kind of on the outside of that armpit, back right underneath the shoulder, and you're just going to put that lacrosse ball into that area of the lat, and you're going to lean up against that wall. You can go try to play around with this position where you're leaning more into it. You can twist a little bit more onto the back of that lat, or you can go a little bit down the lat, and also add movement. So I find whenever I find a spot that's a little bit knotted, I add a rotation in that arm and shoulder, maybe do a press, back and forth, and you're just gonna fish around for areas that feel a little bit uncomfortable. We're gonna get uncomfortable here. You can also try this one on the ground. I prefer the ground actually more than the wall. So try both, see what one feels a little bit better. And remember, when you find that spot that kind of seems to take your breath away a little bit, remember to breathe through it. Thanks guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.